Listen to me, child, because what went down in Paris? Whew, if I tell you, you'll need a cup of tea and a fan. Meghan Markle, yes, that Meghan, walked straight into Dior thinking she was about to stage her grand fashion comeback. But baby, Paris had other plans. Dior didn't just close the door, they locked it, double-bolted it, and threw away the key. I mean, it was bad. She arrived all confident, head held high, telling everyone it was a private fashion trip. Private, my foot. Everyone inside Dior already knew she was coming. They had been briefed. No meetings, no fittings, and absolutely no exceptions. Her name had been flagged weeks earlier like a red alert. A quiet little memo had gone around. No unscheduled appearances from the Duchess. All inquiries through legal. Oh, they were ready for her. So when Meghan walked in, looking like she owned Paris, insisting she had an appointment for a couture fitting, honey, the receptionist didn't even blink. She checked the list. No Meghan, no booking, no nothing. Just a big polite no. No entry, no reservation, and absolutely no collaboration. And listen, in that polished Dior lobby, nobody raised their voice. No screaming, no chaos, just that cold, polite tone that cuts deeper than a slap. Dior's communications lead came out, smiled that professional smile, and said, "We have no appointment for you, ma'am, but we wish you a lovely day." Oof, do you know what that means in French fashion terms? That's corporate for please get out. Now Meghan, she was fuming inside. She'd been chasing Dior for months, emailing, pitching, calling, trying everything. Her team had been sending them glossy partnership proposals like it was a royal PR campaign, ambassador deals, modern Diana projects, luxury collaborations, the whole 9 yards. But you know what Dior said behind closed doors? "We dress legends. We don't create them from controversy." That was the line that ended it all. After that, her name vanished from Dior's contact list like she never existed. And that little no at the door, that was just the final bow on a decision Dior had already made weeks ago. A few days later, receipts started leaking. Actual communications showing Meghan's people had been chasing Dior for months. The final proposal even compared her to Princess Diana, calling her the reimagined elegance for a new generation. Baby, that was the nail in the coffin. Dior wasn't about to touch that mess with a 10-foot pole. They didn't want another PR explosion. They wanted distance. So the board met, voted, and boom, blacklisted. Not just declined, blacklisted. And child, once Dior blacklists you, the whole LVMH family follows. That's the empire that owns Dior, Fendi, Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, basically the royal court of fashion. Within days, her name was whispered across their internal restricted lists. These lists aren't public, but every major fashion house has one. It's where they put names too controversial, too unpredictable, or just too risky. Guess who's on it now? The Duchess of Drama herself. Givenchy, the same house that once dressed her for royal events, quietly backed away. Chanel declined her future pitches. Even stylists started getting subtle warnings. Avoid association. Oh, it wasn't personal, it was self-preservation. Nobody in Paris wants to be caught in a PR hurricane wearing heels. And Paris? Paris didn't need to say a word. They just stopped replying to her emails. That silence? Louder than any headline. But Meghan being Meghan, she wasn't about to take that lying down. A few days later, she popped up at Balenciaga's Paris Fashion Week show like nothing had happened. Cameras flashing, lights blinding, she thought she was reclaiming her spotlight. And for a moment, it looked like she had, until the room froze. The moment she stepped in, stylists felt it. Editors whispered. Designers looked the other way. The applause was there, sure, but it was that kind of polite, forced applause people give when they're praying the moment ends soon. The photos looked glamorous, but behind them, it was pure awkward theater. Nobody approached her, nobody congratulated her, everyone just looked elsewhere. The fashion world's way of saying, "You're not one of us anymore." And then, oh Lord, the whispers started backstage. Not about her outfit, not about her hair. No, gossip doesn't work like that in Paris. Someone said she smelled off. Too much perfume, like she was trying to cover something. Others said it wasn't even about scent. It was about energy. The air around her felt heavy. Now listen, Paris forgives arrogance. Paris forgives scandal. But when you bring heaviness into a room, literal or emotional, the city never forgives that. And that night, the atmosphere around Meghan Markle was suffocating. Then came the real jaw-dropper. After leaving the show, Meghan was seen filming near the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, the exact tunnel where Princess Diana lost her life. Her team swore it was just a scenic drive. But honey, no one in Paris believed that for a second. To a city that still mourns Diana, that choice felt deliberate, even disrespectful. And for someone who had publicly compared herself to Diana before, oh, it crossed a sacred line. People whispered that she was trying to reclaim Diana's story, to draw an emotional parallel. But to Parisians who lived through that tragedy, it was tone-deaf, it was cold, it was wrong. One senior stylist who used to work with Dior said it best. Diana's legacy belongs to memory, not marketing. And baby, that one line said it all. That single drive near that tunnel did more damage damage than Dior's rejection ever could, because Paris saw it for what it was, not tribute, but performance. By the end of Fashion Week, the illusion had shattered completely. People who once admired her poise started side-eyeing her purpose. Balenciaga hadn't even dressed her for that event. That outfit she wore? Borrowed, not gifted. The only genuine Balenciaga piece were the black pumps on her feet. The rest? Arranged through intermediaries, not the brand itself. And in fashion, that's code for you're not invited to the real table anymore. No custom fittings, no couture courtesy, no private greetings, just borrowed glamour and borrowed relevance. She wasn't a guest of honor. She was a guest of circumstance. That's when Paris turned cold. Editors stopped mentioning her name. Stylists declined requests. Even photographers stopped fighting for her angles. Not out of hate, out of indifference. Because in Paris, darling, when they're done with you, they don't boo. They just stop looking up when you walk in. When Meghan boarded her flight home, the cameras still clicked, sure, but the warmth was gone. The smiles were empty. Paris had decided that the Dior fiasco wasn't just an embarrassment. It was a reflection of something deeper. She hadn't come to reconnect with fashion. She'd come to reclaim validation. But Paris doesn't sell that kind of luxury. She thought couture could restore what controversy took away. But what she didn't understand is that style without authenticity is just costume. And the woman who once made headlines for her poise was now standing in her own performance. No audience, no applause, just echo. She came chasing Diana's shadow, but she lost her own reflection in the process. Because Paris doesn't reward imitation, it exposes it. One editor from Le Figaro wrote it perfectly. The difference between Diana and Meghan was never grace. It was truth. And baby, that hit like thunder through the city. By the time she left, the whispers had stopped. Not because they forgave her, but because they'd moved on. And in the world of couture, silence isn't mercy, it's exile. Meghan didn't leave Paris as fashion royalty. She left as a reminder, a warning really, that admiration in this world can't be demanded. It has to be earned. And for Meghan Markle, Paris decided she'd earned only one thing: distance.